With all the trailers, showcases, and dev diaries that can lead up to a game's launch nowadays, it's harder than ever for one to be a real surprise. And that's especially true of a multiplayer FPS when, like me, you are a certified old gamer who's been playing them since the genre began. Yet FragPunk has done just that. What I worried might end up being a Valorant clone with a card gimmick has instead impressed me with how fresh it feels. That said, a messy mishmash of in-game currencies and unexciting rewards hurts the fun that can come from leveling up and chasing cosmetics. In many ways, FragPunk reminds me of a reverse ship of Theseus. If every component of a game came from somewhere else, does it eventually become something original? It's hard to say, but the result here is amusing regardless. Like Overwatch, it has very distinct characters with big personalities and unique tools to match them. Like Valorant or Counter-Strike, the primary game mode, called Shard Clash, revolves around teams of 5 competing to plant or defuse a converter, aka bomb, or eliminate one another across multiple rounds. And like Fortnite, it has a whole lot of this, enticing you to spend some money on an otherwise free-to-play shooter. The playable characters are called Lancers, and they are an entertaining group to choose from. Some are relatively typical archetypes, like this sniper named Hollowpoint and her abilities that help reveal enemies. Others are way out there, like the punk rocker Axon, who shoots lightning from his guitar. Unlike Valorant, where abilities can give you an edge but are rarely what win a fight, FragPunk places a much bigger emphasis on using them to dominate the map, which I like. When abilities, like Broker's rocket launcher, can instantly erase someone, it feels good to use it yourself, or devise a counter on the fly as you see it coming. Naturally, it isn't all lightning guitars and rockets. More traditional guns form the backbone of combat, though they aren't really the star of the show. I wish there were more than just a few options in each category, but the gunplay is at least smooth and responsive, and the fast time to kill does a good job of emphasizing the importance of positioning over raw gun skill. There isn't much of an aim penalty while moving either, giving the action more of a Call of Duty feel at times, which fits the general FragPunk vibe. The real headliner is the shard card system. Before every round, each team has 3 random cards pulled that players can then put shard points into, effectively voting on which ones will be active. Some shard cards are simple, like ones that increase movement speed, while others are extremely powerful, like one that forces the next round to be played out as a melee battle. Or this one, called Big Heads, which, well, you get it. A few are even downright weird, like Egg King, which lets you crouch to lay an egg for some mid-match healing. It's hilarious, utterly bizarre, and unlike anything I've seen in a shooter before.
Did you take one of my eggs?
I'm surprised by how much I enjoy the card collecting aspect of FragPunk. You earn them by completing matches, and it's pretty exciting to read what weirdness a new one is going to introduce. Rounds of Shard Clash go by fast, possibly too fast. In theory, one team is trying to plant the converter on one of 2 objective points, which the other team would then need to defuse. But in practice, the overwhelming majority of rounds end when one team wipes out the other, often in just a few minutes. That means that matches rarely have the same kind of strategic back and forth that makes hard-fought games of something like Valorant so engaging. And Lancers with abilities that have more of a nuanced, tactical focus have seemed less viable overall. I'd love to hunker down with Nitro's turrets and drone to hold a point, but so far that's just a recipe to have all the action happen elsewhere. Unranked games are a best of 7 series, though if it's tied going into the last round, it activates one of my favorite twists, duels. This has each team face off in a series of 1v1 fights, and whoever survives sticks around to face the other team's next champion until every member of one team has been eliminated. The action is as exciting as it is tense, and spectating while you root on your teammates and wait for your own turn is thrilling, especially when you get the win that clinches the duel and, by extension, the entire match for your team.
One-on-one, no match for you guys.
But where's the fun in that?
Ranked competition isn't available until you reach level 30, which can take a while. You are still playing Shard Clash, though this time it's best of 11. but the random element of the shard cards might be a little too random in this context. It's tough to be fighting with actual stakes and feel like bad draws are costing you wins. There's an advanced version of Shard Clash you can get access to once you reach Diamond rank that gives teams some control over selecting and banning cards to mitigate that, but I can't help but feel like it should be the default for ranked competition across the board.
Ban and pick! Do you need further explanation? No, you don't!
A few other modes add some variety, though none stand out. Simple Deathmatch is nice for shooting practice, and Duel Master is a similarly good game type to train for those one-on-ones. Outbreak is the most interesting option. Like Halo's Infection playlist, most players start with weapons, while a few turn into zombies, and everyone who is killed turns and starts hunting the survivors. Unfortunately, the matches are much too long, and the mix of zombies with too much health and guns that slow them down tends to make fights frustrating for both sides. Like many free-to-play games, FragPunk relies on incentivizing people to spend real money on things like cosmetics. There's nothing inherently wrong with this model, and it can even be a fun motivator if there are cool things to chase. Here, however, the cosmetic hunt suffers from a mixture of being too complex without having a lot of enticing options that make it feel worth investing in. There are way too many different currencies. There is gold, which you use to buy items in new Lancers, and then there's Glue Knight, which also buys items. Those are both earned largely through playing matches and progressing along the Battle Pass. Then you can buy FragPunk coins, which cost real money, and are also used to unlock characters and items. If you buy into the premium version of the Battle Pass for 900 FragPunk coins, which will cost you around $10, you'll earn Battle Pass tokens to spend on a different set of cosmetics. That's not to be confused with the ranking coins earned from the rank playlist, the membership pick that comes from subscribing to the monthly plan, or club supplies that are earned after forming or joining a club. They're all spent on basically the same types of things, but from separate catalogs, which creates unnecessary complexity with no benefit to you. It's hard to feel any interest in figuring it all out when most of the prizes aren't very appealing. None of the additional skins stand out the way the best options in Marvel Rivals do, for example. The most valuable thing gold can buy, the Lancers, are prohibitively expensive, resulting in a far too coercive push towards spending real money. When it took me 10 hours to unlock a single Lancer, that $10 price tag starts to look less like a suggestion. Even the Battle Pass, a staple of games like this, misses the mark. There are very few rewards on the free tier of the 60-level pass, and they consist primarily of stickers, icons for your profile, and pop cans that can give out random rewards. Paying for the premium tier gives you access to many more prizes, including several bland character and weapon skins. But there's also an ultimate level on top of that, which adds very little other than doubling a few of the random pull rewards, 2 weapon skins, and 1 Lancer skin. That seems absurd given the Ultimate Pass is more than double the cost of the premium version. In the heat of the action, FragPunk feels great. The hilariously mad shard cards make every round distinct, and with so many potential combinations, it's hard to imagine its signature game mode growing tiresome anytime soon. It's just a shame that the economy and reward systems built around it are such a mess, and the unlockables that you are supposed to work towards aren't very interesting. It's still exciting to play, especially when all eyes fall on you in a match-ending duel. But when the thrill of victory alone loses its luster, there isn't a compelling reason to stick around for the long haul unless what you earn and how you earn it changes significantly. For more, check out our reviews of WWE 2K25 or Split Fiction. And for everything else, stick with IGN.